Hello! So I thought I would make a little vloggy video just to show you where I'm at the moment, where I've got up to. The 100-day project's finished, so just what I've been doing since then, and just show you a couple of my new works. And really to say hello to my new members. It's lovely to have you. I'm thrilled you're here. I've finished the 100-day project. I've finished it. So I wanted to talk further on where the 100-day project took me. So I've filmed a flip through of the book. So this is my 100 days. I've got 100 postcards in here. It went really quickly this year. It went much quicker, I thought. And I think it was the format. I think because it wasn't in a book and I could work in batches, it was easier to kind of pop in and out, fit it around my day. Whereas last time it was quite intensive because I was going out every day and looking for a plant and drawing it, and it was kind of in the book, so I couldn't sort of turn the page, and so it was more time consuming last year. So this year has probably been quicker. It felt quicker, certainly the time scale, it flew by, and I really felt like I got a lot out of it in terms of mixed media, progression, playing with what I liked, and when you do it in that way, you can easily decide what you don't like, and it doesn't matter because it's just on a little postcard, and you can discard that for the next one. So it's a really good way of doing repetitive work and work that evolves quickly. But further to that, I wanted to talk about Route 52 because I've got a bit stuck on it the last couple of weeks. I've been doing it and filming it, and I just haven't liked what I've been doing, and I was kind of thinking, why didn't I enjoy it? Why wasn't I enjoying it? So last week I was doing bindweed, and I was finding it very samey. I feel like it started to get, each week I put down gesso and then I use watercolour and then a bit of pen, and I decided that I needed to kind of zhuzh it up a bit. Maybe go back to how this was going. So a lot more mixed media and experimentation and play. What I am doing now is filming for the next week, and I've decided to put down more of a mixed media background that has a lot more going on. So I'm doing a Love in the Mist is the next one I'm doing. So I know it will be blues and greens. So I just started to pop down those kind of colours and make a bit more of it, a bit more of the page before I start doing the drawings and coming in, because I was starting to just put down gesso, basically just making a page with text on white, and that wasn't really giving me enough to work against. So I'm going to film those, and I'll redo the bindweed as well. And the other thing was that I decided to make some 15 by 15 centimetre works on paper to take to Open Studios, because I've got Open Studios in 2 weeks, and I've been working on a couple of larger landscapes, and they've been okay, but they're in acrylic, and at home I don't use acrylic very much. I mostly watercolour and mixed media, pens and all that kind of thing. So these have been very much mixed media and watercolour, so I thought I would make some minis based on really the final days of the 100-day project. So these postcards, just enlarged slightly, because I've really got the formula down now. I feel like I can have an idea of how to do them, and there's certain motifs that are reappearing. So my bugs, the clouds, I really love this cloud motif. And so what I then was thinking, how do I get this onto a larger canvas? Trying to figure out how I could move this from working on paper to working on canvas, and it's really tricky, and I couldn't nail it. It was taking me ages, and I was like, why can't I just water down my acrylics and use them like a watercolour? But it doesn't work like that, and I realised that it doesn't work like that because the substrate is different. So you can't take your metallic pens and do this lovely kind of writing on canvas. It just doesn't work. The scale's different. The feel of the linen is never going to pick it up the way that a watercolour paper does. And so the problem wasn't transferring it, it was how to accept that the substrate was different and how was I going to deal with that. And so I think I nailed it. And this is one that I've done and I love it. And I had to forget everything I knew and try and treat it like this, but playing with materials that would work on a canvas. So it's still got those motifs in it, it's still got layering and text. So it's this one here, if you can see. So this is an 18 by 18 inch box canvas, and so to begin with I was kind of putting marks down and I kept rotating it just so that I wouldn't get that immediate landscape feel, although I think it is representative of a landscape of the land. I had to approach it with, I put watercolour down and then pencil, so the same kind of ways of doing it as these, and then gesso. As a workaround for getting the pen on, I started to use wet shrink tissue and just applying it to the canvas with acrylic medium. So that was a way around it, and I love those kind of edges of the paper. I absolutely adore it. So it was working very, very well for me. And I was also adding in pages from books. So there's a page here, some old tickets, some collage. And I also started to draw on this paper. So I started to kind of write the alphabet and do little motifs and little birds and things and cut them out. So I've got all these little, they're sort of like those tattoos that you, do you remember when you were a kid? You put those tattoos on. So you can just take these and then just apply them to your canvas and glue them on with acrylic medium. And I love it. That's been kind of a breakthrough. Also, you can draw with pencil still. And coming back, I enjoy the layering of acrylic because you can kind of cut through it with your pencil. So this here is quite engraved. Just feel like I have really nailed it. So I'm hoping that I can repeat this because I feel like I've got the process. I kind of know how I did it rather than it being, oh, try this, try that. Because I've done all this background work, it's not that far removed. It's just finding the right materials to work the substrate that you're working. So different but the same, and I think you could tell that they're both my work. What I want to do is go back to the studio and rework those landscapes that I'm working on back at the studio. I also thought, because I've got these rolls of fabric and I wanted to use them as canvas, so I've made some very big blue ones which are at the studio, but I also made some little yellow ones which I've been working on. So I get these stretchers I actually look for in charity shops. They often have like little kids kind of printed like a cow and things like that, and they're normally like £1, and so I just buy them and rip that off and then recover them with fabric that I've got. I'd obviously buy lots of fabric, so I recover them, and so then I've got a nice new canvas, but they're yellow. These ones are, I've got all different colours. So I've been working on the same kind of process with these. I've got 4 of these. They don't really have an up or a down yet. But yes, so this is where I'm at with these. So I'm thinking I can maybe take those to Open Studios as well, put them up. But I love this direction. I love the way it's going. I feel, well, when I finished this one, I couldn't stop smiling and I just wanted to look at it, keep going back and looking at it. And it's the first painting I've ever done that I love, that I want to keep. I absolutely adore it. I think it's perfect. I guess just that's kind of the result of all of that work. Those 3 months of work have culminated in me finally being able to make a canvas do what I want it to do. So it's been such a long time coming. It's such a lot of work and mistakes and play and experimentation and throwing stuff away, just discarding to get to a place I'm really, really happy with. I'm so thrilled with that work. And the other good thing, I'm thrilled with what I've done. I think it's repeatable. I don't want to sell it. I've shown a few people and they really like it too. And it excites me. I think it's vibrant and exciting. It just thrills me, which means that I will be able to make some, hopefully, like commercially, and be able to sell, because I haven't sold many big paintings for a couple of years because that hasn't been my focus. I knew I had to stop and slow down and go back to the beginning, go back to basics, go back to sketching, go back to observing, playing, mixing the mediums, finding what excited me, finding what didn't, studying those insects and those flowers. And really, I've spent 2 years doing that now, so it's almost like an HND kind of length of time. That's really what you need to do. I mean, I know that. I am so glad I did it. I'm so thrilled. I guess I'm just saying, don't stop. Keep playing. Just keep going and believe, because it is there, and you've got to do your own thing. You've got to find your own path, and that's the whole point. That's the whole thing of art. And I don't want it to end. I don't want there to be an end to the play. It'll carry on and develop more. This whole thing has just been wonderful, a wonderful experience. So I highly recommend it. Yeah, anyway, thanks for listening to me blabber on about that. So that's where we're at. I'm going to be doing 100 of these 15 by 15s. I've got 3 large canvases that I'm going to work on in this style. I'm still carrying on with my Route 52 project, so that ends in September. So yeah, thanks so much, and I'll see you soon.